Hello to all of you fantastic HITC Sevens subscribers, and even those of you who don't yet subscribe to the channel. I hope you are all staying alert. I'm still very much alert to all of your video requests, you'll be relieved to hear, and one of the most popular recent suggestions was from subscriber Nobody Cares, who asked to see an 11 made up of the top scorers in each position this season. Now, Nobody Cares wanted a worldwide 11, but I'm afraid that will be a little testing, since some leagues don't even collate goal-scoring data, and I'm not quite sure how far down the footballing food chain I'd go. Certainly, I've played in a few Sunday League games where the goalkeeper has scored a goal, but I'm not sure that's what anyone is after, so I've limited the 11 only to players in Europe's top 5 leagues, La Liga, the Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, and Ligue. Once again, these are not the 11 players who have scored the most goals, otherwise they'd all be forwards. These are the highest scoring players in each position, and I've only included players in the positions that they have played most frequently this season. Here is the top scoring 11 this season in Europe's top 5 leagues. Goalkeeper: Ederson. Now, as far as I can tell, there isn't a single goalkeeper who has scored in any of Europe's top 5 leagues this season, which is a shame. I toyed with the idea of having no goalkeeper at all on that basis, but instead, I went for the goalkeeper who is probably the most likely to score if and when football finally returns. Manchester City have had a pretty abysmal record from the penalty spot this season, having converted only 54.5% of their opportunities from just 12 yards out. Sergio Aguero, Ilkay Gundogan, Gabriel Jesus, Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling have all tried their luck, but only 6 of the club's 11 penalties have been converted. De Bruyne is the only one of those 5 not to have missed a penalty, and personally, I'd give him permanent penalty-taking duties if I was Pep Guardiola, but the Spaniard gets to watch his charges day in day out on the training ground, and he insists that Ederson is his most accurate finisher from the penalty spot. Whether Pep will ever install Ederson as the citizens' primary penalty taker remains to be seen, but on those grounds, he gets us started in this 11. Right back: Matt Doherty. The least prolific position on the football pitch this season has been at right back, with the highest scoring right back in Europe's top 5 leagues, only having found the back of the net 4 times in the Ligue. Matt Doherty has scored 4 league goals for 4 consecutive seasons, although having hit that milestone with 9 games to go this season, he stood, and may still stand, a decent chance of exceeding that tally this season. Wolves often play with the back 3, which sees Doherty push forward into a wing-back position, so his attacking output isn't a great surprise. In addition to his 4 league goals, Doherty has scored 7 goals in all competitions, having struck 8 times in all competitions last season. And no, you don't have to comment saying I pronounced Doherty wrong, it'll just end up with people from different parts of Ireland debating how it should be pronounced, as it always does, so let's just at least join in the unity of disagreeing with my pronunciation. Centre-back: Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos is the most prolific centre-back of his generation, having scored 117 goals for both club and country. That's more than some centre-forwards, and Ramos has been up to his usual tricks this season. The aggressive Real Madrid captain hit double figures last season in his most prolific campaign, scoring 11 goals in 42 games, and he had scored 7 in 34 when the current season was suspended, including 5 in the league. That tally makes him Real Madrid's second highest scorer this season, ahead of the likes of Gareth Bale, Eden Hazard, and Luka Jovic. In fact, Ramos has scored more goals this season than all 3 of those combined, and he's the first centre-back in this 11. Centre-back: Martin Hinteregger. Eintracht Frankfurt lost a lot of goals last summer with the departures of Luka Jovic, Sebastian Haller, and Ante Rebic, but they've recruited some goals from an unlikely source via centre-back Martin Hinteregger. The Austrian international joined Eintracht on a permanent deal for around £10 million last summer, having already spent the second half of last season in Frankfurt on loan from Augsburg. Hinteregger isn't a giant by centre-back standards at 6'1", nor has he previously been renowned for his jumping ability or heading technique, but he has found a real knack for scoring goals this season. The 27-year-old has scored 7 in 38 in all competitions, with 6 of those goals coming in the Bundesliga. That's as many goals as he had scored in 3 previous seasons combined, and it's enough to make him Sergio Ramos' centre-back partner in this 11. Left back: Domenico Criscito. Left backs have been by far the most prolific defenders this season, and both Domenico Criscito and Philip Max have scored 7 league goals this season, but Criscito makes the 11 by virtue of having scored more in all competitions. Criscito was renowned for his pace and adventurousness, rampaging down the left flank during his 20s, but he has spent much of his 30s playing as a centre-back. That hasn't thwarted his attacking prowess though, and his goal-scoring output this season has been remarkable. The former Zenit star has bagged 9 goals in just 20 appearances for Genoa in all competitions, having scored 7 in 18 in the league. It would be remiss of me not to point out that 8 of Crescito's 9 goals this season have come from the penalty spot, but they all count, and for that reason, he takes his place in this 11 ahead of the likes of Philip Max and Rafael Guerreiro. Central midfield, Dani Parejo. There are 2 central midfielders in this 11, and I want to be clear that they had to have played predominantly as central midfielders and not attacking midfielders in order to feature. Dani Parejo has all the tools to play in either holding or attacking midfield, but despite wearing the number 10 shirt for Valencia, he tends to operate more as a number 8. A superb playmaker and one of the finest passers of a ball in La Liga, Parejo has somehow only won 4 caps for Spain. I say somehow, the reason is obviously that Spain have a plethora of sensational midfielders, but Parejo will be a nailed-on starter for 99% of national teams. The former Queen's Park Rangers loanee has had 5 seasons in which he has hit double figures for goals, and this season is one of them. Parejo has scored 10 in 37 in all competitions, including 8 in 25 in La Liga this season. That makes him Valencia's joint top scorer, tied with Maxi Gomez, and it also makes him the first central midfielder to take up a place in this 11. Central midfield, Santi Cazorla. It's an all-Spanish, all-La Liga affair in the middle of the park, where Dani Parejo is joined by compatriot and international teammate Santi Cazorla. I have spoken at length about Santi Cazorla's stunning recovery from an injury the doctors once feared could leave him unable to walk again on this channel, but I still don't feel the gravity of that comeback is understood by most. Cazorla struck 7 times in his comeback campaign last season, 4 of which came in the league, and he's just about double that tally this season. Primarily a creator, the Villarreal star has scored 12 goals in all competitions this season, with 8 of those goals having come in the league. Like Parejo, Cazorla's prowess from set pieces has contributed significantly to his overall tally, and admittedly, our midfield contains a lot more silt than steel. Right wing, Lionel Messi. You'd have to go back around 15 years to when Messi was 17 or 18 to find the last season in which he wouldn't have made a highest scoring 11 in Europe's top 5 leagues. This is a rare season, inasmuch as if Messi had played most of his football through the middle, rather than out wide on the right, he wouldn't have made this 11, since there are players who have outscored him during the 2019-20 campaign. Messi has been averaging roughly a goal a game for the last decade, so a season like this one, in which he has scored 24 goals in 31 games, is considered something of a disappointment. Messi has scored 19 in 22 in La Liga this season, which sees him topping the division's scoring charts once again, and he tops the division's assist charts as well. Messi hasn't been at his most prolific this season, but he's still the highest scoring right winger in Europe's top 5 leagues and by far the most creative. Left wing, Marcus Rashford. It is a tie in terms of players who have spent most of the season on the left wing between Premier League stars Sadio Mane and Marcus Rashford, both of whom have scored 14 league goals this season. In all competitions though, Rashford has found the back of the net 19 times, whilst Mane has scored 18, so it's the Manchester United man who just edges him. There has long been a debate with regards to whether Marcus Rashford is best equipped to play out wide on the left or through the middle, but this season he has shown that he can score goals with some frequency even from wide areas. One suspects Rashford will continue to play out wide now, and having scored 14 in 22 in the Premier League and 19 in 31 in all competitions, even in a prematurely halted campaign, this is by far the most prolific season of Marcus Rashford's short career to date. Centre forward, Robert Lewandowski. For most of the last decade, the 2 most prolific footballers on earth have not been out-and-out centre forwards. That has not been the case this season, and the 2 centre forwards in this 11 have the most goals of any players in this 11 this season. Robert Lewandowski was on course for the best goal-scoring campaign of his career when the Bundesliga was suspended, and he'll be hoping to continue in a similar vein when the league returns. The Polish marksman has long been unerring in front of goal, but this season has been something quite special, with the 31-year-old finding the back of the net 39 times in just 33 games, with a record of 25 goals from 23 games in the Bundesliga. Lewandowski has the 2nd most league goals in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, and the most goals in all competitions. Centre forward, Ciro Immobile. The man with the most goals in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, Ciro Immobile has been absolutely on fire for Lazio since the start of the season. Immobile is familiar with outrageous goal-scoring campaigns. It was only 2 seasons ago that he scored 41 goals in a single season, but he had been even more prolific than that this term when Italian football was drawn to a halt. In Serie A, Immobile has scored a stunning 27 goals in just 26 games. Meanwhile, he has found the back of the net 30 times in 33 games in all competitions. Between them, Lewandowski and Immobile have scored 69 goals this season, and one pities the defence who has to face them as a pairing. So that is it for the highest scoring 11 in Europe's top 5 leagues this season. Naturally, the most notable omissions of centre forwards, such as Timo Werner, Erling Haaland, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jamie Vardy, Romelu Lukaku, Kylian Mbappe, and Wissam Ben Yedder, all of whom have scored goals for fun this season. Haaland has actually scored more goals than either Robert Lewandowski or Ciro Immobile this season, but of course, the vast majority of his goals haven't come in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. Elsewhere, Liverpool centre-back Virgil van Dijk has scored 4 goals and Cologne star Sebastian Bornau has scored 5. Meanwhile, wide men like Mohamed Salah, Neymar and Jadon Sancho also came close to featuring. That is it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and as always, make sure you are subscribed to HITC Sevens.